to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
And, yep, that's it. That's all the energy I got today. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. American Airlines has sucked the life out of me. I know this is supposed to be a show about food, but, I'll get into that later. Let's talk about some food and fun and how the heck is everybody? Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro, back in studio finally after a couple of day delay. Yeah, we'll get into that. Man, that's my I'm not even going to go there. You know what? It was an amazing trip to L.A. We're going to talk about all the food and fun and I'd like to say frivolity, but it really was food and work. But it was awesome. It was really good. I learned a lot and can't wait to share it with you. But in the meantime, a couple things to share. Now, it's too bad I missed yesterday. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But today is actually National Go Fishing Day. All right, well, that's not necessarily part of cooking, but if I had gone fishing today, I could have brought something back and cooked it up for us to eat. But unfortunately, the beautiful Mojo River is running a little dry right now. Even with all that rain we had over the last 4 days, apparently they opened up the floodgates and the river is dry. So no fish in house today. But yesterday, actually, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I don't know how this National Day calendar thing works. But yesterday was National Eat Your Vegetables Day, National Stewart's Root Beer Day. And if you don't know Stewart's, then there's a problem. Growing up in upstate New York and, just New York in general, Stewart's was a staple. They had ice cream shops and their bottled sodas. They're awesome. Yesterday was also National Apple Strudel Day and National Cherry Tart Day. So as if they couldn't they fit one more in there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4 food-related events yesterday, national days. Couldn't they just spread those out? I mean, today's National Go Fishing Day. Couldn't they have put apple strudel and cherry tart, they're kind of the same thing. Couldn't they put one on this day, one on yesterday? I don't know. And the National Eat Your Vegetables Day, well, I think you're just fighting in vain on that one. You're swimming upstream, so to speak, unless the river's dry like the Mojo River, and then, you just walk upstream. But National Eat Your Vegetable Day, we had this interesting discussion in California. I went up to California to spend some time with Andrea and Camille Favilli of Favilli Studio. Andrea is a former Disney Imagineer. If you don't know what that is, look it up. They are basically... I won't do it justice, but they design the experience of every guest that walks into not just every theme park that's Disney run, but also the animation that they create, the animated movies. But they are the experiential architects, I believe you call them. Experience architects. That's a good word for it. Anyway, super creative people. I have to ask them a lot of questions because they speak a little above my level. Actually, they don't. They're very cool people. But we spent a lot of time talking about a lot of children won't eat tomatoes. And they won't eat, tomatoes is one, right? Tomatoes is a big deal. They won't eat it. So they won't eat a sandwich with tomato, bread, and say, I don't know. Oh, let's see. Perhaps fresh mozzarella cheese, right? They won't eat that. But you take a dough, roll it out, make it round, put some tomato sauce on it, throw cheese on it, and they'll eat that. So we had this discussion. We're working on one of the things we're going to work on is how to educate children about eating, but making it fun, and not just eating, just educating them about food. Where it comes from, how it's used, and man, it's the conversation got so long and went so deep that I know Matt's ringing the bell over there if you heard me. There's so much to cover on that one, but that's going to be a really fun project. So look for it pretty soon. It'll be coming up on YouTube on the Spoony page as well as on my Food Biz Pro page. unless I create another one, but then I'd have to create a new character, and I don't really want to play another character. I'd rather just play myself. But that was really fun. And we talked about all these misnomers that children have about food, right? Well, it looks funny. It feels funny. I don't like that. How many times have you heard from your children, I don't like that? I don't like that. I don't like that. They've never eaten it before. Probably 9 times out of 10 that you put something new on the table. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think I had a sister that wouldn't eat mushrooms. And finally, at like 30 years old, I asked her, I said, well, why don't you like mushrooms? She goes, I don't know. I've never had them. I'm like, you've never had mushrooms? She said, no, I've never had mushrooms. How can you not like something you haven't eaten? So anyway, that's a challenge that they've given to me is how do we make food, healthy food, approachable for children? So that's going to be fun. I'll be heading out to LA in a couple more weeks to work on that. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. I'm gonna wait till the next segment because I can't wait to tell you about my experience with American Airlines and the wonderful customer service that I've experienced over the last 3 days. Now, I did say it's National Apple Strudel Day, right? Or it was yesterday. And I wish Jeff was in here because it would be a really fun visual. But Ron, you can just shake your head yes or no. You've had apple strudel, right? You never had apple strudel? Okay, so let me describe apple strudel. Apple strudel is basically an apple pie that looks like it's a log shape, right? It's just the dough is rolled over the apple mixture, the apple filling, and it's baked, and it comes out kind of like you cut it across the, across this log, this tree-like thing, and that's it. You bake it all at once, you cut it into segments, and you eat it. The thing is, the dough is very different from pie dough. It's much thinner, and so when you bake it, it bakes crispy. Not quite like phyllo. It's not quite that thin, but it's much thinner and crisper, and you have more than one layer around the filling. So I was watching a video today because I haven't made strudel dough in a long time. And the key to strudel dough is you have to have first you have to have a big table, and you have to cover it with like a linen cloth. If you have just a plain white linen tablecloth, it works very well. And what you do first is you dust it, and it's funny to watch the German or the Austrian chefs make strudel. They violently throw the flour. They get just a touch of flour in their hand, and they throw the flour really hard into the air, so it kind of just blankets the entire tablecloth. But the way they do it is it's very aggressive. It's like, I hate the flour, but I'm making strudel. I hate the flour, but I'm making strudel. So they throw a little bit of flour on there, and then that can be done beforehand. But you make the dough, and the dough is very, very simple. Matter of fact, it's so simple that when I first tried this, I thought it was wrong. It's basically 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of warm water, and I'll post this. I'll actually post the video of this gentleman making the strudel dough. It's the exact one I've watched. It's a couple of years old, and so it's 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of warm water, a half a cup of vegetable oil, and then 1 egg. And this is how simple it is. You basically put it into the bowl of an electric mixer, and you let the dough hook, the little spiral dough hook, you put that in and let it run until it comes out a very smooth dough. And it should be really smooth and not sticky. So this is not a short, it's not real short, right? There's not a lot of, I guess we have to explain that. Short dough is something that has a lot of oil or butter, right, in it, a lot of shortening. And then you have I don't know what the opposite is, but I guess a sweet dough. But short doughs tend to be really soft, like challah bread or brioche. They're really easy to work with. This, however, with these 4 ingredients, actually works the same way. And if you'll notice, there's no leavening agent in here. There's no yeast. There's no baking soda. There's no baking powder. So what happens is it never rises. So when it cooks crisp. It doesn't puff first and then cook. It cooks the same thickness, a little tiny bit thicker than what you roll, just because there's always a little bit of natural leavening agent in the all-purpose flour. But it's a very cool process. Anyway, so you make the dough, and then you let the dough rest for a little while at room temperature. And typically when the dough comes out of the mixing bowl, you make it into a rectangular shape. Now, the table that is typically used is 3 feet by 4 feet. It can be larger. I mean, I've seen people, groups of people stretching dough. And this is the thing, you stretch the dough. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But groups of people or teams or families of people stretching dough, like 8 people around a table, stretching it, and they make huge, sheets of this pastry. So the first thing you do is you kind of make it into a rectangle, probably say 1 foot by 6 inches wide, 1 foot long, 6 inches wide, and you put it the same direction lengthwise as the table is long, right? You want the length to go 4 feet and the width to go towards the 3 feet. And when you start rolling this, you take the rolling pin, and again, you aggressively throw flour at the top of the dough to make sure that it is properly dusted. And then you take your rolling pin and you roll from the middle outward. And basically, you're just rolling outward to not quite double the size of the dough. And as you roll it outward, it's going to get thinner. But as you get about as far as you can stretch it with a rolling pin, you stop and just kind of lift it up off the cloth and stretch it out just a little more with your hands, and then let it set. And you have to let it rest now. The gluten in the dough, the more you work it, the tougher it gets, the chewier it is. So you have to let it rest for about a minute. It's 30 seconds to 40 seconds, actually, but a minute is fine. It's an easy way to measure. So then you come back, and now you can probably try doing the rolling pin one more time. Once you reach when you cover about 1/3 of the table, so the third middle of the table, or the middle third of the table. So if it's a 3 by 4 foot table, you're going to have about 1 foot on each end left, and you're going to have about 10 inches on either of the shorter, on the long sides, right? So at that point, you can't use the rolling pin anymore. So you let the dough rest for another 30 seconds to 40 seconds, and then you have to start stretching by hand. And at this point, if you're wearing rings, either take them off or take them off, because I guarantee you're going to punch a hole in the dough. And the key to making great strudel is to ensure that the dough doesn't get a hole in it, and it's really thin. As a matter of fact, the rule is that you know it's thin enough when you can read a newspaper through the dough. Literally. So I've seen people hold the newspaper under. Can you read it? No. Keep going. So anyway, so you keep stretching the dough. You stretch it out maybe, another 6 inches in each direction. Let it rest. Stretch it again. Let it rest. Stretch it again. And at that point, you now have phyllo dough. Now, what you put in it is completely up, or not phyllo. You actually have strudel dough. At that point, what you put in it is basically like an apple pie filling. I like to take just sliced apples. I like Braeburns. They're one of my favorite to bake with. But I also get dried currants, basically like a dried blueberry. I toss those in there, a little sugar, lemon juice, basically, and a little corn starch, so it'll thicken. And basically that's it. You just roll it up inside. You make I guess you just fill it down you don't fill it down the center. If you go to one side about 4 inches from the side, and you make a line of the filling all the way down, and then you fold the dough over it, and then you just roll it all the way up. And at that point, you can cut some steam vents in the top and brush the top with a little bit of egg yolk or egg wash of some sort. Sprinkle some coarse sugar on there and bake it 350 for, 45 minutes. Anyway, the strudel recipes are really easy, but it's the dough. The dough that's really the key to good strudel. If you want to try and make strudel, or you want to have the best strudel you've ever had, make it with your kids. It's really fun. Matter of fact, Rob Carson, if you're listening today, I think you should try this with your daughter. Rob Carson, who hosts, what's his show? I don't remember his show. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He does a show that's, what is it? Sound Bites. There it is, Sound Bites. Rob's an amazing entertainer. He's a syndicated comedy writer. He did political writing for a long time for some big names on radio. But Rob made these cinnamon rolls in his kitchen. I think it's in their basement, actually, with his daughter, where they have a 6-foot-long stainless steel table. I think it's 6 foot by 30 inches. And they made one big, long piece of dough large enough to cover like 80% of the table. And then they put the melted butter and the cinnamon and sugar and rolled it up and cut them. It's an amazing video. I will try to put the link up on Spoony, actually, if I can find it. Rob, this is your next challenge. Should you choose to accept this mission, then I'd like to see a video of you and your daughter making the strudel dough, because it's really fun. And if you've never made it before, it's frustrating. So anyway. All right, so enough about apple strudel. Today, it's Taco Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. Now, it's not the Taco Tuesday everybody's thinking about, right? No, it's not. Today, Taco Bell, not just because it's Tuesday, everyone gets free Taco Bell today in the United States and Canada. And why, would you ask? Well, I think it was Game 2 when the Golden State Warriors beat Toronto on their home court. Yeah, Game 2 of the NBA Finals a couple weeks ago. Of course, the Raptors ended up winning, but Taco Bell had stated if they won, that everyone would get free tacos. Now, they had to wait. I don't know why they waited so long. I would think they would have done it sometime during the series, but now it's time to go ahead and redeem your tacos. So if you want a free Dorito Locos taco, which just sounds terrible to me, go to your local Taco Bell from 2 to 6 p.m. today, June 18th. That's Tuesday today, June 18th. And it's really easy. You just walk in, they hand you a taco. Actually, you can register at that chain's website or mobile app, and then you can just swing by and pick up your free Doritos Loco order at any time throughout the day instead of just between 2 and 6. Oh, you don't even need, I think you used to need to have a coupon, but they don't even need that anymore. I don't know. If you like Doritos Locos Tacos, then have it. It's kind of over the top for me. The fact that they've taken a Dorito shell and turned that into a taco shell is just kind of, it's a lot. You got all that flavor hitting your tongue from the Doritos flavor, and then what happens to the rest? I mean, I think it just gets buried in there. So I don't know if it's a fail or if it's a hit, but if you like it, go ahead and try it. And, oh, wow, this lobster roll is over 2 feet long. No, I don't need a lobster roll that's 2 feet long. That's a little too rich for me. All right, so there you go, folks. If you want a free taco, go to Taco Bell today, 2 to 6 p.m. local time. And, man, I had some great food in L.A. I really did. I think I need to get back to doing more Japanese stuff. And by that, I mean, I think I need to go around a couple days a week and not just check out Japanese restaurants, but Asian restaurants in general. When I was in LA and I was speaking with the Favilis, we went to a place called Modan. And if you go to Spoony's Facebook page, you can actually see us dining there. Their wonderful son was sitting next to me. He's 12. And I kept asking him if next time, he's not a picky eater, but he eats kind of simply. Not plain food, but simple. I think he had, instead of the standard chicken ramen, he had just the broth, the noodles, and the chicken. No vegetables, no additions, very simple chicken broth. And so I do this little thing where I said, okay, whatever I say, just say no. All right? If I say it in Italian, just say no. If I say it in Japanese, just say no. And he stumped me because he said yes a couple of times, and then he also said a couple of full sentences. But it was pretty fun. But we ended up going, it was Modan Artisanal Ramen. And they have 2 locations. The one we went to is on Fair Oaks Avenue in South Pasadena. And they have another one in Eagle Rock. If you don't know LA, it doesn't matter. But it was incredible. It's run and owned by a young Korean gentleman. And the broth was fantastic. Now, I love ramen. I mean, it's one of the ultimate Japanese foods, I believe. Breakfast, dinner, lunch, late night, drunk snack, I don't care. I love ramen. If it's 110 degrees out, give me ramen. If it's 10 degrees out, give me ramen. I absolutely love it. So we ended up going to this place, Modan Artisanal Ramen, or Modan Ramen. And, look at the menu. It's pretty simple. And they have like 5 or 6 ramen dishes. And then they had some other things like Japanese curry, which we'll talk about in a minute, and a few other items. It was very simple. And then they had a few appetizers. But when the ramen came out, Oh my gosh. So one of the cool things, I actually got the, tonkatsu pork tonkatsu ramen. So it's basically, tonkatsu means a cutlet, but in this case, typically it would be breaded and fried. In this case, it's a cutlet, but it's not really a cutlet. What they do is they take pork belly and they roll it really tightly, like pancetta, basically. If you've ever seen pancetta, it's pork belly rolled up. You dice it. It's basically, you dice it and fry it. That's what lardons are for the most part. It's just rolled pork belly. It's like bacon that's been rolled over itself. And then they truss it really tightly and they roast it. Now, when you order the ramen, they cut off a very thin slice, maybe a quarter of an inch thick, and then they sear that on a really hot plancha, a griddle, and then they serve that in the ramen. It's unbelievable. It's so tender. It's so rich. And then they have this miso broth in there. It's if you've ever eaten ramen, miso broth is the one that looks kind of milky white. It's kind of milky beige, and that's because they put there's a little bit of miso in there. Not enough to make miso soup, but it's just incredible. And then, wow, the noodles, of course, fresh noodles. They don't make them there, but they buy them fresh. That is some of the best ramen I've had in I don't know how long. When was it? I did recently go to a place in Austin called Tetsuya. I think it's Tetsuya. And they're really renowned in the United States for having some of the best ramen. And it is good. It's very, very, very good. I have to say, though, this place rivals them. Absolutely. I think it's one of the best ramen I've had in, I don't know. Well, since I came back from Japan in 1990-something. Long time ago. Anyway, it was really good. There's a couple other stops we made. Hop Secret Brewery, Stone Brewing Company, and then Tokoro Japanese Restaurant. And Tokoro was in the same building as the Favilli family. We took a bunch of people down. We had lunch. There were like 6 of us. And I had ordered the ramen when we went to the first restaurant, Modon. But Mrs. Favilli had ordered Japanese curry. And that is probably, besides sushi, it's my favorite Japanese meal. It really is. And then ramen's in there third or fourth. And I saw it when it came out, and I smelled it. And there's something really cool that they do to Japanese curry. It's a little thicker and richer flavor than most of the Indian curries or Thai curries. The gravy that they make is thicker. But one of the cool things they do is right before this sauce is finished, when they're cooking the curry, they grate apple into it. And by grating that apple into it, it doesn't have that overpowering flavor of any one of the spices. It's never muddy. It's never, and by muddy, if you've ever tried to make curry from scratch, which if, all my chef friends out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to make curry from scratch. There's so many ingredients, and if you overcook one of them during the kind of aromatic, release the aromatic process, right? When you're releasing the aromas and you're kind of simmering everything in oil, the onion, the cumin, the coriander, curry, all the curcumin, well, chili, cumin. What else do you have in there? There's it's all C's. There's 15 different ingredients that go in there. And then, of course, black pepper and other stuff. But what's really cool is they grate that apple in there, and it gives it this really, really mellow flavor. And not only that, it has this slightly sweet aroma to it that's fantastic. And I love all rice, but when you eat Japanese curry and you can get a clump of the rice because it sticks together, it's not sticky rice, that's Thai rice, but Japanese medium grain rice, when you can get one, just perfect size bite of the rice with just enough sauce on it and a little piece of pork cutlet or whatever, chicken cutlet. Well, I had chicken cutlet, actually. Man, it just, as my son would say, it doesn't suck. It's actually really good. Japanese curry. I'm going to have to throw a recipe up for that. All right, hey, we're coming up to a break here in a few seconds. I'll go over the rest of my trip with the Favillis. There's a couple other things I want to talk about. Hop Secret Brewery, Stone Brewing Company. I actually Matt's going to come join us. Matt Locke is going to come join us later. I believe I have a gift here for him from one of the breweries, but we'll see if he makes it in after a show. Anyway, lots to come, folks. Well, I held you over through the making of strudel dough. Let's see if I can hold you through the folly that is American Airlines. We'll be right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
And it's bad. We're back for the second course of the day. Hey, Dan, what's up, brother? Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan. How you doing, brother? He's like, I didn't know you were alive. I thought the Indians got you. Yeah, spent too much time out there at the studios. I thought they were going to get me, too. You know what? So I was a chef at Universal Studios for a long time. Well, a short time, a long time, medium time term. And I didn't realize that they started just on a hillside making Western movies. It was basically a 3 or 5 acre lot, something really small, this hillside, and they rounded up the wagons and everything was filmed right in that little area. And now it is amazingly, I did not get to go there. I haven't been there in a long time. I do need to make a visit next time I'm out there just to see how things have changed and kind of, I would love to tour the production kitchen again. That kitchen did $38 million in food service a year. One kitchen supplying the theme park. Crazy volume. And we made our own ice, and we made our own cotton candy. I don't know how I got onto that, but anyway, the cotton candy was a cool thing, though. We used to buy them. Yes, you can thank me for that, by the way. It's much better than the stuff they used to have. So we used to buy those bags of cotton candy that were pre-made, and they were still on the stick, but they were bagged, and they were like, I don't know, $8 or $10 or whatever they are, and they were okay. You could tell they weren't made that day. It wasn't light and fluffy like it should be. And so I said, how hard is it to make cotton candy? And everyone in the production kitchen said, I don't know. Have you ever made cotton candy? I said, no. Why don't we go test it out? So we went to a facility and tried it out and decided to buy 4 machines or 6 machines. And we had one person or 2 people making cotton candy pretty much 10 hours a day. But, now it was costing us, see, here's a lesson in profitability, right? It was costing us like $1 per. I think that's including labor. It was less than that, probably 80 cents. The spun sugar, the paper cone, and the plastic bag and then whatever labor it took. But you can make a lot of cotton candy in an hour. Okay, a lot of, you get run out of sugar once in a while. Of course, they need break. The people working the machines need breaks, but selling them for the same price, like $10, $9, whatever it was, and basically our margin went through the roof. Same thing happened with ice. They used to have ice delivered to the entire damn theme park every day, and I'm like, this doesn't really seem right. Isn't there a way to make ice? No, we couldn't make enough ice for the theme park and City Walk at the same time, so we had to have City Walk's. Some of City Walk's ice was delivered, but that was another thing. That was like another. Geez, I think it added like those two things added like $500,000 to the bottom line every year. That's a lot of money. $38 million, but now you added almost. I think it was $400,000 net to the bottom line. Pfft, man, I should have gotten a raise out of that one. Yeah, no, didn't happen. But so we're just talking about the Japanese food. We're talking about the Japanese curry. And I know people can say, but there's like 16 different kinds of Japanese curry. And yes, there are. There's green curry and yellow curry, and there's all sorts of other stuff. There's the brown curry, the regular curry. Let's see, Rack Attack Barbecue. This is Brandon. Chef, we need to get together and see about production on my meatballs. Mama needs a new purse. Well, come on by, brother. Come on by. Actually, give me a shout. I have a call at 3:30 today, but anytime before 3:30 or anytime after 4 would work. You know what? So Brandon, actually, if you haven't seen him on the show, I think he wants to take my show over. I'm going to have to let him take. You know what I should do? Brandon, we should work out a deal where if I'm not here, and I know I'm not going to be here, you could run the show. I mean, I could call in remotely. You could host. I'll, give you flack, give you a hard time, kind of like last time you're in here. Yeah, I'm telling you. If you saw the show the last time that Brandon was in here, that was the day that I had the Culinary Fight Club was coming up. And I don't know if I've ever been quite that tired before. I went back and watched the show, and I'm like, wow, did I really say that? Did I really say that? It's a good thing I'm an admin on the page, and I can get into the YouTube page, because I may have to I'll edit it down so it looks like Brandon's just doing a show for his 40 minutes or whatever it is. But anyway, let's see. Who else we got there? Yay, Patrick's back. Yes, Travis, I am back. Yes, yay. Marie, Richard, Brant, Marie, Travis Watkins. I don't know about Stewart's root beer, but I do know Virgil's root beer. Oh, you know what? Virgil's is probably quite possibly the best root beer out there. And if you like sarsaparilla, which, by the way, is not root beer. It's very different. Sarsaparilla is made from a root. Ha, ha, ha. Get it? Sarsaparilla, root beer. It's a joke. Cups, really? You're going to make me convert grams myself? Lol. I haven't used volume for breads. So here's the thing. Travis is talking about the hi, Pat Gamir, by the way. No, I have not listened to your podcast yet, but I will. I promise. I swear to you, I'll listen today. Real food, real people. I'm sorry. I've said twice to you that I guaranteed I would listen to it, and I didn't. And I will listen to it tonight, though. That'll give me something to do while I'm finishing editing for Trey. Okay, that would be Trey from Trey Chapman from Trey's Chat On Live right here on Fridays. Man, that guy's like the busiest guy in show business. He wakes up at 3 a.m. to do social media. 3 a.m. I'm just falling asleep at 3 a.m. Well, not really. I'm tossing and turning usually, but Travis, yes, you don't see. Here's the thing: strudel dough is so easy. It's 4 cups, 1 cup of water, 4 cups, 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 1 egg. That's all you need. Throw it in, mix it up. It's easy. See, the great thing is there's no leavening. And when you get to leavening, that's when the science of baking comes in. So Travis is kind of being a smart aleck here, but baking is a real science. It's a very precise science. And when you don't do it correctly, when your ratios are off, then things don't work out well. I is what you call a hot, savory chef, a hot chef, hot food chef. Let me take that back. If I burn a steak or I drop a steak or whatever happens, I can cook another steak. I can believe it or not, in about 15 minutes, whip up, well, probably 10 minutes, I can whip up mashed potatoes. You don't want to know what I have to do it, but I can. You can't do that in baking. I mean, this is something that typically just the cook time is an hour. Not to mention the prep time. Then it has to cool. Then whatever decorations go on it. So if you're even just making a cake, how long is it taking to make a cake if you're making it from scratch, right? Well, hell, just a Betty Crocker cake. You have to bake it for what, probably 30 to 40 minutes. You have to let it cool. Then you have to ice it. That alone is close to 2 hours. So baking, you have one chance to get it right. Baking and pastries is a very precise science. In this case, though, Travis, just throw it in there, let the dough go, and pull it out and stretch it. It's really fun, actually. If you've never made this dough, it's really fun to play with. Again, it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's very rewarding, even if it doesn't turn out perfect. All right, what else? We got Travis is talking about the taco, because apparently Brandon said, I missed the Fire Loco taco. Travis says that was good, but I really missed the volcano tacos. You know what? I have never tried any of those tacos, and I'm sorry, I really haven't. I don't eat a lot of Taco Bell. I could be honest and tell you I used to a long time ago. I hope you tried the Zokovesha, well, at Stone. You know what? I tried 4 different beers, Travis, but that was not one of them. But I have had that one before, and it's really good. Let's see. Chef, when you get yeah, okay. All right, there we go. I think I've caught up. Oh, Richard Brandt. You guys realized this morning I bought ingredients for those meatballs, then forgot because there was a beer festival in town. Maybe. Oh, all right. So Richard Brandt, also known as Tech Guru, this last weekend, was it last? Yeah, is it all week? I thought it was just over the weekend, but I guess it's this week. It is. There's a big beer festival going on in. Hey, Richard, is that in? Just type back if you can. I don't know if that's up in Cheyenne or is that in just in Colorado, somewhere between like Fort Collins and Denver. Anyway, interesting stuff. Travis, yes, I was being a smart aleck. I do weigh everything, but I'll skip it for this. Thank you, because it really works. All right, so a couple other stops we made during this trip, and one was called Hop Secret Brewery. I don't even remember if I talked about this last half hour, but the owner, Gary, is a very, very nice guy. He actually, it was funny because I spoke German. I said a couple of German words at one point, and then he let it slip that he actually studied and learned how to brew in Switzerland and Germany. I said, how did that happen? He goes, well, he worked in the hotel food service and beverage. And I was like, oh, wow, in Germany. I mean, in Switzerland. And he's like, yes. So we didn't really chat back and forth in German, but we did make some jokes back and forth. And I spoke more German, and he just kind of answered back. But what's really cool is Hop Secret is in Monrovia. And it's right next to the old train station in Monrovia, LA. If you don't know LA, it's kind of, it's far east LA. I mean, not far east LA, but it's on the other side of Pasadena. It's, let me see what else is out that way. If you've ever been there, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Monrovia, California. Monrovia. Sounds like Nostrovia, doesn't it? You know what that means? That's like, isn't that cheers in Russian? Monrovia, not Liberia. Geez, California. Okay. All right, so I need to go to the map. So it sits up at the base of the mountains, right? And it's so it's not quite out to Rancho Cucamonga. No, that's not the right one, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so you go up past Pasadena, Arcadia, Sierra Madre, and there sits Monrovia. Very industrial little place. And Hop Secret is in this kind of industrial strip mall. I mean, basically, it's one big long row of it's a single building sectioned into different storefronts. They're not storefronts; they're manufacturing or commercial building. and basically it's one big loading dock, right? But then you go in and it's awesome. It has this beautiful aroma. It's got this molasses, bit of a molasses smell from the barley, and it's got the hops that he uses. Well, it depends on the beer, but the hops he was using that day were light and citrusy. Oh man, it was just it was beautiful. And this man, Gary, keeps his tanks clean. I mean, everything is spotless, literally spotless. So you walk through, and actually, I took a video. If you go to Spoony Radio on Facebook, check it out. There's a good video of me and Gary, and it's quite interesting. I think it's a lot of fun. So please check it out, and don't forget. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Follow the page, and then go to my page, Food Biz Pro, and like and share, like and share, like and share. Then go to my personal page, Patrick Mosher. Like and share, like and share, like and share. But anyway, so we do this walkthrough of the brewery, and Gary is very, very technical in a very cool way when he talks about the process. And it's interesting because I always thought that the entire process, each stage of the entire brewing process, the fermenting, was longer, when really the majority of the time is in the fermenting tanks. That's, 7 to, a beer that takes a long time to finish is maybe 10 days, 12 days. You can turn your tanks, I think most people have a schedule of every 14 days. You can do it in less time, but 14 days is a good schedule. But most of that time is spent in the fermenter. So he just talked us through the process. They grind the hops, and it goes up through a chute, and then it goes into this tank, and it makes the wort, and that gets pumped over, and that goes in the boiler, or and that goes through a heat exchanger, and then it goes into one of the 3 fermenters that he has. But if you watch the video, it's funny because they challenged me to draw my own beer. I made a joke that Gary was angry. Gary was getting very serious during the video, and I said, if he seems a little distant, he's very angry at me right now because I keep holding my mouth underneath the taps because he has 11 beers on tap right now. And I said, well, he's mad at me because I keep putting my mouth under the tap and just open it up. And he says, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't measure it. I can't tax it. So it was a joke, of course. But then he said, but what I will do is I'll challenge you to go and draw your own beer. And yeah, I've poured plenty of beer. That wasn't a problem. I think I did okay, which meant I got to keep it and drink it. So that was cool. But yeah, so Andrea Favilla and I stayed there for quite a while. We spoke with Gary, talked about his process. But one of the things I thought was really unique is all of his beers finish really cleanly. It didn't matter if it was a double IPA, an IPA, a lager, a Kölsch style beer, sorry, Kelsch, or whatever you say in English, Kölsch, okay? It's K-E, it's as if, German lesson 101. German lesson 1 today. This is about Patrick Mosher, your German teacher. Thank you for joining us today. German lesson 1, K with an OE behind it, any letter with an OE or an O with 2 dots. Those two combined, the O and 2 dots, the 2 dots are called an umlaut. The OE, they're pronounced the same, and they're pronounced like ER. So Kelsch, or K-O-E-L, however we say in English, is actually K-E-R-L-S-C-H, Kölsch. It's not hard. Kölsch. Simple. That's how you say it. And if you're going to make a Kölsch beer out there, make it taste like Kölsch, because there's only one place in the world it comes from. That is Cologne, Germany, because Cologne in German is Köln, and Kölsch means of the Cologne style. So if you're going to make a Kölsch beer, make it taste like Kölsch. If you can't do it because the water's different, the mineral content's different, you can't get the same recipe, can't get the same ingredient, I don't care, don't make it. Okay? Or call it like an attempt at Kölsch, right? Look, we can't call champagne we can't call bubbly from California champagne, so you shouldn't be able to call Kölsch from Monrovia, California, Kölsch. And actually, Gary did not have a Kölsch on the tap, but I'm just saying, if you can't brew it, don't call it, okay? Don't call it Kölsch, because it's my favorite beer. Don't mess it up for me, because every time I grab a damn can of beer that says Kölsch on it, it doesn't taste like Kölsch. So just stop. It's it's a very complex beer. It's very simple, right? It's always 4 ingredients. And if there's actually it's like a periodic table of beers. Well, Kölsch kind of sits by itself down in the bottom left, kind of all by itself, because the style is so simple. It's very difficult. Very difficult. So stop messing it up, Americans. Man, make some real Kölsch, because I'm sick and tired of paying $7 a bottle or whatever it is to get beer here. And then they never have the one I want, because it only comes from there. There's only like 15 or 20 breweries. I want the one I want. So just make some good stuff here. Somebody wants to attempt. Hey, Richard Brandt, you want to attempt? All right. You want to attempt making a real Kölsch? I will get you a case of my favorite Kölsch. I'll have it shipped. Yes, I can have it shipped. I know how to do that. And I will send it to you. And if you can duplicate it, man, I guarantee to find you funding for a brewery. Oh, by the way, we need to talk about that off the air, please. All right. So I digressed a little bit. Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole, but man, it's irksome when people, yes, I said irksome. That's not a snooty word. I'm just trying not to use bad language. Okay. It bothers me when people call something by the wrong title, right? Or they just throw it out there like cook and chef. Now, I'm not offended when you call me a cook, but when you call somebody who just is in culinary school, or somebody who, and nothing, no offense, culinary students, God bless you. It's a lot of hard work. Or somebody who's a line cook, who's been a line cook for 7 or 8 years, but still doesn't run a kitchen, is not a chef. They're a cook. Okay. Chef implies administration and the full responsibility. Well, executive chef, that implies the full responsibility for the financial welfare of the kitchen. And just because you can cook doesn't mean you can manage. But also, just because you can manage doesn't mean you can cook. So I've heard the word cook used loosely for chefs as well that can't cook at all. All right, so back to what we're talking about. Hop Secret, very cool. So here's the cool thing. He does these very Germanic style beers, Swiss and German style, and they all finish quickly. So if it's a double IPA and IPA, it doesn't matter. You don't get that long chemical aftertaste in the back of your throat, or it's not really chemical. It's kind of a sour taste that you get from the hops. And I'm sure, Richard Brandt, if I look, you've probably given me the proper name for what's that's called. Let's see, Richard. I'll have to dump the meat out of the chest freezer and put it back into a lager cellar. Oh, know your water chemistry, Richard. That's right. Know your water chemistry. And that's the thing. You can't necessarily recreate it. They have a very, very, the water's unique in Cologne. It's also one of the only German beers that serve like ice cold. Served very cold. It's served in a cylindrical glass, either 1.1 or 2.2. Well, it's like 1/10 of a liter, right? 1.1 deciliters or 2.2 deciliters. And it's awesome. It's just awesome. It's so cool. They serve so many of them at these breweries that they come around. They carry them in a tray that has a handle in the middle and all these circular openings around it, like it's like a 2-tiered wedding cake, right? And they the big glasses go on the inside on the top one, and the small glass go on the outer one. Maybe the other way around. I don't know. But what they do is they take the decal. It's the beer coaster. They take that beer coaster and they mark every time you order a beer. They put 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course cross it for 5. And I think I lost count. I can't even tell you how many the max count it was. Of course, I was buying drinks for everybody. I'm sure at one point it wasn't just me. Hey, Jeff Hand liked my video. Jeff, if you're listening, you need to come to the studio. Jeff Hand is the head trainer, and I believe his wife is the other head trainer at Training for Warriors right here in Fort Worth. Well, Haltom City, but I believe it's Fort Worth. Stockyards, I think, is their location that they're considered. But they're right behind us, about I don't know, 700 feet down the block. If you want to get in shape, you want to challenge yourself, find yourself a Training for Warriors gym near you. It's not really CrossFit. It's not really a traditional gym. It's kind of boot campish. But it keeps going. I mean, they work individually with everyone, and the whole thing is they aren't trying to intimidate you. It's a very uplifting, very positive experience. Jeff is a very interesting individual. I really want to have him back in studio. He needs to come in. So Jeff, if you're listening, come on in. You're right down the street. Please come in. All right, so Omaha Brewing in Georgia makes a Kölsch style beer. If they can this year, I'll try to get you some. With any luck, you'll like it. Look, I mean, I like some of the beers that are considered Kölsch. They aren't Kölsch. I mean, I know they're attempting to use the same methodology, but it doesn't work. And again, Richard Brandt said, know your water chemistry. That's right. Typically, a lot of breweries filter their water, filter everything out, right? And then they add in specific mineral content based on the beer that they're brewing. And that's really important. So who else here? Okay, so I asked where the beer festival is, and Richard Brandt, if you happen to be in northern Colorado or in Cheyenne, Wyoming, because there's nothing else in the rest of the state, let me tell you, they are having the Friday. Oh, it's Friday and Saturday in Cheyenne. They're having their beer festival. I thought it was last weekend. So, well, Richard, then I was going to call you this weekend, but I really thought that you were not around. I thought you were going to be drinking too much beer to have a conversation about money. So, all right. Hop Secret's really cool because all of his beers. I'm sorry, Gary. I keep getting off track, but I'm trying to stay ahead of comments, and I'm not good at that. So for one day, I'm actually doing well. I'm excelling for me. But anyway, all his beers finish very quickly, which is very German. It's very it's very German. I was going to say very European, but that's not necessarily true because Stella, Heineken's a skunky beer. Not my favorite, especially in a can. On tap is way better. But anyway, they all finish cleanly. It doesn't matter if it's an IPA, double IPA, a lager, a Kölsch, a Belgian, like a Southern German white style beer, like a wheat beer. They all finish very quickly. And I like that. So what happens is you don't need to take a drink of water or eat something to get the taste out of your mouth so you can take another sip. I do like big hoppy IPAs as well, but even he had this great like a juicy IPA. And one of the things I noticed about it was, and again, this is Hop Secret Brewery in Monrovia, California. If you go there, it's fantastic. You can go in the front door or the back door. If you go in the back door, you walk actually through the brewery itself. And I believe they're open 4 till 10, 7 days a week. So go and drink your fill. Take an Uber. Okay, please take an Uber if you drink too much. But yeah, it was fantastic. And so they had this juicy IPA, which hazy IPA, whatever you want to call it. Not really. I mean, it's an East Coast style IPA, Northeast Coast style IPA, which I don't buy. I don't think it's a Northeast Coast style IPA. I think it's just a different style of beer. So name it something different besides an IPA, okay? But it was beautiful. They're kind of they have this really cool, interesting cloudiness to them. It's almost like it's unfiltered. So, but they typically are a little sweet, right? This, and they taste sweet. They kind of have this jammy feeling in your mouth, like a big, bold, Cabernet would. And I don't like that. I don't like the sweetness in the beer. Now, if it's a hint of something like in New Belgium Brewery's Citradelic, and you get a little bit of sweetness, and you get the citrus from the hops and things like that, that's fine. Or Blood and Honey here, which is another Revolver local brewery. Blood and Honey is awesome. It's blood orange and honey are incorporated into the brew. But yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. That juicy IPA, it kind of has the fullness that you would expect from the sweetness in a hazy IPA. But it also the finish stopped short. It didn't stop short. It actually finished when it should finish, a couple seconds after you swallow. Right? It doesn't just sit there and linger. I really appreciated what he's done, and I think he's going to be going big places. So if you get out to California, check out Hop Secret. Yeah, really fun. We went to Stone Brewing Company the last day I was there before I tried to catch a flight on American Airlines, which we'll talk about in a minute. Do I sound upset? Do I sound like my luggage might be missing for the 4th day now? I don't mean to. But yeah, my luggage is still missing. It's Tuesday. Where the heck is my luggage? Please. Does American Airlines not understand that I have a public forum to talk to about them? I'm not sure. Well, it's not as big as Doc's public forum was, but I can make a stink. I might go on Twitter for the 2nd week in a row, and actually, if I don't get my luggage today or tomorrow, I'm gonna cause a ruckus. Y'all better just find the damn bag. We'll talk about that in a minute. Or maybe now. Now we're going to break now. It's a minute and a half left. So, Stone Brewing Company. We spent a little time in their tap room, that was in Pasadena, not in South Pass. Man, they do volume. They do volume. They're the oldest, not the oldest, they're the largest brewery in Southern California. They were established in 1996. I think it's the 8th largest craft brewery in the nation. And man, they do some volume. That one single location, they probably have 25 seats inside, maybe 30. They have another 20 on the patio, a standing room only inside. It was nuts. They probably sold, we were there 45 minutes, $2,000 worth of merchandise out the door. At least 1,000. It was nuts. Matter of fact, I bought a hat for Matt. See? It's got a flag on it. He'll like that. Anyway, it was fun. I tried a bunch of their beers. They're the biggest guys in the block in Southern California. If you've ever had Arrogant Bastard or some of the other, they have a bunch of brews. They're just plain old lager was really, really good. I like their beers. I had a great time, I have to tell you. And their customer service is excellent. They're, the guys behind the bar, right there at the tap, awesome. What do you call tap tenders? Bud tenders, those are guys that serve you marijuana. And you got a bartender. What do you call those? Tap? I don't know what you call that. I have to figure that out. All right. Hey, we'll be right back in, it's 4 minutes, top of the hour. Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro. Come right back, please.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump says his pick for defense secretary has withdrawn his nomination.
The president has announced that acting defense chief Patrick Shanahan is removing his name from consideration. He tweets that Shanahan has done a wonderful job, but wants to devote more time to his family. The president is tapping Army Secretary Mark Esper to become the acting Pentagon chief.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Enthusiasm running high in Orlando as thousands throng to see President Trump launch his re-election campaign. Aaron Perini is Deputy Communications Director for the campaign.
This kickoff is the biggest ticket in politics right now. We have seen, as the president said, over 100,000 requests for people to come in and see him.
Perini tells the Salem Radio Network's Mike Gallagher the president's success is resonating with his supporters. The U.S. sending another 1,000 troops to the Mideast. That deployment coming after Tehran announced it will not comply any longer with the international nuclear deal. Meanwhile, China's foreign minister criticizing the U.S. for what he called extreme pressure against Iran and warned about the dangers of opening a Pandora's box in the Middle East. Also at townhall.com, U.S. home construction slipping a bit in May.
The Commerce Department says construction was started at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.27 million homes and apartments. That's a decline of 0.9% from April, when construction starts had risen a strong 6.8%. Applications for building permits, a good sign of future activity, edged up 0.3% in May to an annual rate of 1.29 million. Construction of single-family homes fell 6.4%, while construction of apartments rose 10.9%.
Correspondent Jeremy House with that report. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. The Dow ahead 344 points. The NASDAQ is up 123. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now. and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And roll 'em. Take one. Hey man, I was in LA. You know, I got in the like movie spirit. Roll 'em. I know. Jeff's looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? Jeff, you there?
He looks at me like that all the time.
Jeff, you there?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
He looks at me like that all the time.
The thing is, usually he's got a really funny comment back, and he's just like, he could look more and more perplexed. It's like,
well, the problem is,
it's action. It's action.
I just got off the Matlock show. So my brain, and
then you see him sitting over here.
I'm in decompression mode. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey, so I didn't mean to mess with you twice. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a second. I just left him on the other side of the building. Why is he there?
But turnabout's fair play. I had Chef Patrick on the show this morning. He told me to come in and have a conversation.
Wow, damn. Hey, we need to we need to just be on. We need to get rid of that.
Let's talk food. I've lost weight. I'm kind of getting skinnier.
You know what? If I held it in like this all day, my sternum would be
You'd
bruised
be strong.
by the end of the day.
You'd be strong.
Woo!
But let's talk food. I'm tired of politics.
Me too. But hey, where the hell is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, by the way?
Dead.
So, guys, I don't play. I don't play politics, but no one's seen her in months, right?
No.
So I keep telling Matt I'm going to put walkie-talkies, one in his studio over there, because the last hour overlaps, and every break I'm going to call over and say, "Hey, man, have they seen her? Hey, the Pat phone. This is the Pat phone calling.
Yeah.
Is there a sighting yet? Is there an alert for Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Is she alive? Is she kicking?"
It's a great question. No, I don't think anybody knows, and you're not allowed to take pictures in the Supreme Court.
Nope.
And their term it ends in June, so they have the summer off. They take July, August, and September off before they come back into session in October. So. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll get off politics, man. It's just that one thing. Look, I'm. So if anybody else in the world had not been seen for 120 days or 150 days, I mean, we'd assume they're dead, or that we would have had some sort of sighting. And I'm not. It's not even political for me. I'm just curious. Where the hell is Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Because I want to make her. I want to make her a grilled cheese sandwich because she's 80 something.
Yeah, 84 or 5.
Okay, well, she needs a grilled cheese sandwich. She's looking a little frail.
She is thin, but she's had cancer and all. I mean, she has not been in real great health. But let's change subjects. Did you enjoy your Father's Day?
Yeah, sorry.
Were you in L.A.?
I was not at home.
You were not at home. Yeah, see, because I was telling Handy J, that Father's Day, my wife bought some ribeyes, some bone-in,
big thick ones.
Oh,
like 2-inch.
Inch and a half. And that's I'll tell you, and I think you know this as a chef.
That's my favorite cut.
The thicker your meat, the better it is to cook. Hey, there's no bells.
It's just I was wondering where you're going with that. Well, yes and no, right? So here's the deal with that. You have to be careful what the heat is, right? Mm-hmm. What the heat setting. Mm-hmm. The people don't know this. What you have at home to cook on is so much different than what we have in restaurants.
Yes.
So if you look at a restaurant grill or a broiler,
mm-hmm.
which is a grill according to home chefs, home cooks, it's slanted.
Yeah,
it's sloped upwards.
So the grease runs.
Actually,
right?
Well,
so because normally the grease will flare up your flame, which can char your meat.
But that's actually not what it's for. So what happens is you can control zones, right? Like you have 4 zones typically on a 4-foot grill. Mm-hmm. But what happens is if you're going to cook something too rare, then you hard sear it.
Yes.
But then you move it to the coolest part of the grill, which is where it's ramped up.
So
and then
that's how I cook. That's what I do. So when I'm doing steaks on the grill, I have the grill all the way up, hot as it can be, and then I sear it. So I sear, turn the grill down, move it to the front, and cook them to medium rare.
Or you have two different sides, real hot and real cool, or cooler. Now, do you do the reverse sear thing? You ever seen people are the big deal now is to like basically cook stuff on low temperature and then sear it at the end?
No, I go the other way.
Okay, so where that comes from is when you know the whole sous vide thing. Everybody's got a little. Basically, sous vide is to cook in a water bath, right? So you keep the water temperature on 130, well between 116 and 160, depending on what you're cooking, for a certain amount of time, and basically you get the same color all the way through. If you want rare, it's rare all the way through.
Right.
Then, and they've been doing this in French restaurants and Michelin-starred places for a long time. So what they do then is that's how they cook it, and then it's held cold in a refrigerated drawer below each station. So you open up that drawer, and that's when you see them like they're basting it with butter. Okay, well, that's already been sous vide cooked most of the time because they're just finishing it. Real hard sear, baste it with butter, throw some fresh thyme in there, whole cloves of garlic. But yeah, LA.
Because see, that's what I do, and I'm old school because I worked in a restaurant as a kid, and I was always taught you sear first to lock in the juice. You lock in the meat, you sear it both sides, not for long. I mean, you can sear a side in about 45 seconds.
You just want that. I mean, just a char. It doesn't have to be a char. You want that golden brown color, right?
And then turn that down and let that slow cook to a medium rare to a medium.
Yeah, so if you're trying to cook something, so people are like, oh, I'm going to cook this to well done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear it really hard and then leave it on the high heat. Well, what happens is the outside is burned, the inside is raw.
Exactly. Doesn't cook through evenly.
Well, and it just burns the outside. So the way I typically, if I'm going to cook something, thank you. If I'm going to cook something well done, well, it depends on how many times it comes back to the kitchen because the third time it gets deep fried, just telling you.
Yeah, well.
And I've had so many people tell me that was the best steak.
Stop.
I swear.
Stop.
I was working at, all right, Pio's restaurant.
The only way you eat steak
restaurant
is medium rare.
Yeah, rare, medium well, whatever. Look, I don't even care if you put steak sauce on the damn thing. You pay me $50 for a steak, you can wear it as a wig as long as you're paying for it. I don't care.
Let me tell you a funny story. So I used to work for a company where we'd have to go down to Louisville, Kentucky, and we'd work the big farm show down there. It's the biggest indoor farm show in the country, right? So there's a steak place there called Frankie's, I think is the name of it, Frankie's. But we're there with a large group, and we're all ordering steaks because this is a nice steak house.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get a really good steak. The steaks were somewhere $40 to $50 a cut.
Yeah, and that's a la carte.
Yep, a la carte. You're doing all that, right?
That means there's no sides, baby.
No,
That's
you got to pay
just
for
the steak.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So, guy I was traveling with orders his steak. There's 8 or 10 of us. He gets his steak. Waitress comes around, young lady, and he says, "Can I have some steak sauce?" She whacked him in the back of the head.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, and she says, "We don't have any steak sauce in this restaurant. That steak's, you don't need it."
But can I tell you what, though?
It was kind of funny.
It is. That's really funny.
She whacked him right in the back of the head.
I'll bet you they'd probably whack you in the back of the head if you went to Peter Luger's in New York, where you have to pay. You have to pay cash there.
Yeah.
They only accept cash.
Yeah.
It's probably the most expensive steakhouse in the country. Probably pretty close. But they pre-slice it for you too. It looks really nice.
Right.
I mean, it's like I think the cheapest cut of meat they got's are $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's funny. That's real. I wish I could have seen that.
Well, the way they cook these steaks, they're melting your mouth. I mean, you don't need anything to enhance flavor.
I know, but you know what? Here's the thing. French chefs had to learn a long time ago that if you don't put the freaking salt and pepper on the table or bring it when they ask you, no, you must eat it as we cook it, then no one will come and you'll close. Unless you're in Paris or London.
I see what you're saying.
And here's the thing. Pat Gamir's angry Patrick. Find that luggage. That's right. Damn it. Find my freaking bag. Dude, it is one bag. It's got a tag on it. Scan it.
Are you missing? Are you missing your BBDs?
No, man. Well, yes, but it's got got $2,000 worth of knives in there from my sponsor.
Oh, I know. You had told me that.
Yeah.
So that would be nice to find its way back here to Spoony Studios.
Yes, it would be. Really, yes, please.
Those are nice knives.
I mean, I can still make the claim, but then I got to wait for them to get reimbursed to send me more knives. I don't want to do that. But look,
don't you love traveling?
I do actually. I love traveling. It's my favorite thing to do.
Not mine.
Almost.
Yeah,
maybe third or fourth or fifth. But
yeah,
I love traveling.
It might be in the top 5, but it's not the
If I didn't have to travel to go places, I would travel more. I like going places. I don't necessarily like the act of traveling. So what I mean, Jeff?
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
I just want to repeat back what you said, so this way you can understand my face. And that is,
I know. I saw your face.
Okay. If I don't have to travel to go places, then I would travel more.
Yes. If I didn't,
if you travel more, you're going to places.
Let me express that a little. Let me express that a little better, because I you're right. Actually, I used the same. I used 2 different variations of the same semantic verb. Right. So, if I didn't have to travel to visit new places and to see new things, then I would certainly see more new things and visit more places. Does that make? Yeah. Because if I didn't have to get on a freaking airplane and lose my luggage and all the other, I just hate airports.
Is that a euphemism?
No. I just hate airports are a pain in the butt.
And LAX is the worst airport in the country. Maybe Atlanta. Atlanta might give it a run.
Oh, man, JFK is tough, too. Because it's so big.
I've never flown out of JFK.
Favorite airports? Dude, there are a couple. Baltimore. BWI.
BWI is pretty easy.
BWI is small. It's nice.
I left Jack Carr's book in the urinal at the BWI. That's that.
Oops.
Yeah, I couldn't get back through security. I was reading the book and then I left it on the ledge to go to the potty, and then I couldn't go back and get it. So
one of my other release favorites is
story.
Denver.
Denver has a really nice airport.
You know, it's a nice one, but geez,
and it's outside of town, so it's easy to. It's not a lot of congestion.
Yeah, it's an hour to get there, though.
It is.
And then once you get there, if you go during the holidays or even during any kind of peak travel season, it could be just summertime or wintertime, people are going skiing. A lot of times, everything is right there in the middle of the terminal, right?
Right.
It's right in the center of the terminal.
Yeah.
So when you try to get, I know the TR, what's the other express lane? I don't have that. So.
Oh yeah. The pre-check.
Yeah, pre-check,
the
right?
pre
TSA
or whatever.
pre-check.
Pre-check. Yeah.
So TSA pre-check, sometimes it takes longer than the regular line.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I've seen lines out the freaking door in that place. It's crazy. They do have a cool train though.
Yeah, I would agree. DFW, I don't like flying out of DFW. It's a maze, and it depends.
And it depends on which terminal too. Like Terminal A, Terminal C aren't bad, but you get over I always have to fly the cheap seats, right?
Well, that's what I do too. I don't fly first class.
I fly that yellow airline.
Yeah.
And you go to Terminal E.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terminal E is not where you want to be at DFW.
I'm trying to think. I flew into LAX twice, and I between that and Atlanta, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, Atlanta's tough.
Atlanta is tough, and it depends on which terminal you fly into and which terminal you're flying back out of. Mm-hmm. Can be just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen before. And normally, for whatever reason, Atlanta is Delta's hub, and Delta sucks.
Jeff,
I'm not a big Delta fan.
When have you ever waited to interject before? Or
never.
Not just mute him?
No, as far as muting him, what I was going to say is that you guys are flying wrong. You need to take me with you.
Oh,
because
I see.
we board the plane first.
Oh, no, crap.
Right? Yeah, we get off the plane first. Okay?
I'm doing it
front
wrong.
Row parking.
I'm doing it wrong.
And I'm telling you, I can get you in a wheelchair and have somebody push you down to wherever you need to go. And they will actually hold a flight for a handicapped person versus a non-handicapped person as far as a delay goes.
Well, I have to be.
I'm
here's the thing.
Ways.
Nobody.
I've never lost my luggage.
Here's the thing. I'm up. This is a politically correct channel. We are not the other guys, and so nobody knows you, Jeff.
What do you mean? Nobody knows me.
Nobody knows why you're called Handy J. So,
Jeff.
I mean,
his name is Jeff.
Well, no, I mean, look,
that's what I've heard.
Doc was an equal opportunity offender, and so he just gave you a name because that's.
There were 2 Jeffs at the other place.
Yes.
Right? And so he was trying to distinguish between the 2. And he said, no, not that Jeff. Give me the handicapped Jeff. And then people just freaked out. I kid you not. HR was downstairs after the show.
I'm sure.
Do we need to talk? Are you okay?
Right.
Is everything going to be fine? And I'm like, are you kidding? I just
trying not
came
to
up
snort.
with a
That's
Twitter handle called Handicapped Jeff. So that's been my moniker ever since.
That's your Twitter handle, right? Yeah. Handicapped Jeff.
Right. Yeah.
So can I tell you what, man? I'm glad that somebody in this country, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, I really don't, has a good sense of humor and faces the challenges that I'm sure you've seen that I have no clue about. I don't know. Actually, no. You have no. What am I talking about, dude? Like, you're running the board for my show. You have all the power in the world. What am I? No.
Well, the funny thing
I don't feel
is,
sorry for you one bit.
Whatever.
Well, the thing is, Doc was never that kind of person that meant it as offensive.
It was a moniker.
It really was. It was your title. I mean, we call each other all kinds of names and whatnot and have a good time. But, I don't think he was ever looking to offend.
He didn't mean it bad.
My wife's in HR. I get it. I mean, some of the goofy stuff that comes into the human resources department, I would pull my hair out because people are crazy. And that's just completely the only way you can say it. They're crazy. They're crazy. So, Chef, what's going on in the world of food?
I don't know.
He has no idea.
You know what? You know what? Actually, no. Wait, that's not true. That's not true. Because there's a bunch of things that just went through my mind when he said that.
Bacon.
Oh, dude, bacon.
God bless bacon.
You know what?
Right?
Though?
Everybody likes bacon.
Bacon is now good. You know why?
Because it tastes good?
It's forever good. Look, I'm wearing the damn pig shirt. I love bacon.
That's why I said bacon.
I love bacon. No,
bacon tastes good.
Well, it's the only clean shirt I had. So, here's the thing. And I didn't realize I had a pair of jeans stashed because I was wearing shorts. And I'm like, I had a pair of jeans stashed in the. I
got my sexy legs out. That's all there is. It's funny. Funny is Brad has been wearing pants in here.
What?
I know.
Brad never wears pants.
I know. And
is he cold or something?
I'm not going to get yelled at. We're not going to come over here. No, he's filling in on another production, so he had to wear.
Yeah.
So
okay, I got it.
It's thrown off the whole vibe of the place.
Man, I thought that we were the ones that never caved when it came to doing what we wanted to do. Well, that's why we did all this. I'm joking, man.
Next week, I'm wearing shorts. I'm filling in for it too. I'm wearing shorts. I don't care. And I'm going to use innuendo bells, and I'm going to talk
I'll bring you a pair of sweatpants, so when they say something, you pull the sweatpants on, the old gray kind with the cinched ankles.
Well, you're going to turn me. All right. Never mind.
So, bacon, huh?
No. Here's the cool thing.
That bacon sandwich.
No, seriously, look, I was just reading this article. You
were reading an article. I love it.
I know. I actually read one article. And here's the thing. Bacon is back, baby. You know why? Bacon is back because, according to several reports, more Americans than ever find dad bod attractive in survey. Nearly half think it's the new six-pack. Hell yeah, baby. I'm letting it hang out all day long. I'm going to have me a big fat steak and 3 beers for... No, I'm not actually.
But, I might.
Yeah, well,
just
I won't.
Saying.
I'm going to exercise 30 minutes a day, every day.
I've got one arrogant bastard left.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of them too. You want one more? So speaking of arrogant bastard, I happened to go to the Stone Brewery.
Oh, this is why I came over. Right,
and here's the
deal.
That means we'll stay the rest of the segment. Well,
I'm not going anywhere.
See this, folks? It had a really cool American flag.
I love hats.
And the gargoyle, devil, whatever the thing that is. But that really shouldn't be where the stars are. But that looked like your style.
I'm truly touched that Chef Patrick would buy me a hat.
That'll be $24, please.
Oh, well, I'll get Chef.
yeah. We'll put it on your bill.
That's a really cool hat. I love hats. So,
I'm telling you what.
It's funny. I got a new haircut. Mm-hmm. So I took to Instagram over the weekend.
I didn't get a new haircut. I need a haircut.
I took to Instagram over the weekend. I took a selfie of my new haircut. And everybody said, your head is pasty white. I'm like, yeah, I wear a hat 99% of the time. I'm a baseball player.
Everybody asks me why I wear the big headphones instead of like the inner earpiece, because when I bend over like this and you can see the top of my head, everybody can see how bald I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm not really bald, but
mine's getting thin too.
I have what my old hairdresser, she was about a 60-year-old Vietnamese lady, very sweet. She used to say, I'm like, how's it looking up there? She goes, it's not a convertible yet. It's more like a moonroof. I'm like, I don't think that's any better than a convertible, but I'll take it.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, is it getting really gray? She goes, no, it's blonde, Patrick. It's blonde. I'm like, you're so sweet. You just want my money.
Well, it's so funny because I went in to get my hair cut on Saturday, and I've been letting my hair grow out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of these phases. I don't know why. For 43 years of my life, I had a crew cut. I had a flat top haircut all through high school, college. I mean, I've always had really short hair. I moved to Texas and I let it grow out for about a year and a half. The experiment is over. So I sit down in the chair and the lady says, what would you like me to do with your hair? I said, 1 on the sides and back, 1/2 inch on the top. She's like, you're kidding, right? I'm like, oh no.
I do it too. In the summertime, I do it 2 on the sides. Taper it up and like a 5 or 6 on the top.
Yep.
But
only take off your hat.
If I go any shorter than that,
just for people who are watching on YouTube and the other channels and stuff, we'll see. Take out the headset.
Yeah, try the new
for a
one.
Moment.
Yeah, that's a 1 on the side, tapered up to a 2 at the very top.
Hey, you wear it well. There's nothing wrong with that haircut.
Dude,
that's a good haircut.
That's pretty much a high and tight.
My whole life.
It's just not straight enough
it's
on
not
top.
Sergeant
But
Carter
I will tell you, the crazy thing is I had a bunch of hair. I mean, I had a lot of hair.
You
so
actually did.
She looked at me like, oh my God, you've got all this hair. You're not going to cut it off, right? I'm like, yes, I am. And as she cut it, my hair, white. It's not blonde anymore.
Oh,
It's this color now. The white on the porch has now made it to the roof.
Oh, hey, so the Rob Walling is actually one of the I think he's a sales director. I don't know. Hey, Rob, sorry I forgot your title real quick, but he was with Kanshang Knives. He's like, please reach out to Maddie or me about the knives once you get it sorted. So I have to tell you, Rob, amazing knives. Amazing. I sent you the picture of the knives.
I saw it.
Well, wait, when I the other day before I left.
So what is amazing about these knives?
Gosh.
What sets them apart?
Okay, so there's one set of knives that I highlighted at the food show, and that was a set of knives made in conjunction with and in partnership with and for Thomas Keller. They're Thomas Keller approved. TK.
Who's that?
Thomas Keller owns what was probably, it was for many years the best restaurant in North America and probably still is. It's the French Laundry in Napa. He also owns Per Se in Manhattan.
I don't know if I want to eat French Laundry. Dude,
I'm telling you what, this restaurant it underwent a $10 million renovation.
Wow. Yeah. So he approved these knives. Why did he approve them? Why did he like them?
No, that's just one line. They have several lines, right?
Okay.
But the thing that's unique about them, I didn't get those knives because they have one home and one retailer, and that's a special thing.
Right.
But I did highlight the knives because they're so beautiful and they're really great.
Oh, they look great. I mean, the picture you sent, they look wonderful.
Well, those are so those I have one. There are two knives that are Japanese style vegetable knives. Basically, there's one that's a chef's knife, one that's a vegetable knife.
So what's a vegetable knife?
It's got a very square, like rectangular blade on it. It's very flat.
Okay.
So Japanese cuts are not the same. Okay, this is something I really want to do. Jeff and I have talked about this, but the shape of a knife determines how it's used.
Okay.
So like a French or European style chef's knife, right? Mm-hmm. It's got a very curved blade. It rocks back and forth.
So you can dice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dice, slice, julienne.
Yep.
Well, Japanese knives are different. They have a straight blade, so it's like you push forward, but the blade hits flat.
Okay.
And then they sent me a Japanese sashimi knife. Which is actually really nice. And so those long, very slow curved, like a very slow curving knife, arcing knife, those are meant to draw. It's like it's a slicer, basically.
Right,
but
right.
And what else they sent me?
And I'm sure they're very sharp.
Oh, man, they're awesome. Here's the thing. It's made with Swedish steel. It holds
Is
an
that
edge.
a euphemism?
No, it holds an edge longer than Japanese or German steel.
Okay.
That's the cool thing about it. And that's, I saw... Henry Liu is the engineer that came up with these knives. And I met him 2 years ago, 2017 at the food show in Chicago. And then I saw him again last year. And then this year, we had finally launched Spoony last year.
Right.
And I said, hey, can we talk? Can I get some, can we maybe do a little Facebook Live? And they liked it so much that they sent me a set of knives to use. And that's what I'm going to highlight in pretty much everything that I do. They're awesome. The weight and balance is great. The blade and the handle are almost exactly the same. Right. So weight-wise, but the center of gravity is just behind the end of the blade, which is where it should be. I mean, for me, they're perfect knives. They're awesome. They're aesthetically beautiful. They're super sharp.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Did you see the one in the case that's just the So basically, there's this stand, right? It's a chef's knife and a 3-inch paring knife, or 3.5-inch paring knife, and the stand is a triangle, right? It's like a wedge, and but it's an open triangle, and the knives slide in from the side, so you still see the entire blade of the knife sticking through the frame and into the bottom resting location. It's awesome. It like nestles it in there.
That does sound good.
And
Who doesn't like nestling?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Cuddle me buff.
I like nestling.
Cuddle me buff.
Yes.
And folks,
I'm
cuddle me
nestler.
Cuddle me buff does not mean hold me naked. Look it up. It's a drink. It's beer.
Let's share a drink.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But those knives sound fantastic.
Yeah, and so
because you have to have good knife. If you don't have a good knife, it makes your job so much harder to cook.
Oh,
and I love to cook.
So they sent me a slicer. And the Japanese style knives all have wooden cases for them. Here's the cool thing. Every one of their cases that they have a wooden case that comes with it, they have a magnet inside. So when you pick the knife up, it doesn't fall off. Japanese knives, I pull my Japanese, you've seen the sashimi knife I have in my case maybe. Every time I pull it out of the case, I have to hold the knife and the blade at the same time.
Right.
I mean, in the cover, the handle and the sheath. Otherwise, it falls off.
Right.
And I've broken them before, and you have to special order that to be made to fit your knife. So I think it's just ingenious. The coolest thing, the thing I really liked the very first time I saw them, is they have this knife block. And on the outside of the knife block, they have this little recess that's a little like a half an inch wider than the chef's knife blade. Since that's the knife you use the most, they have a magnet underneath the wood there, and it just sticks to the outside. Because if you have magnets that you stick the metal to metal, it actually damages the blade. So.
Oh, so it's behind the wood.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. It's all ergonomically aesthetic. It's beautiful. It's high quality. It's the best steel I've ever used. It's awesome. So yes, I'll let you know what happens, Rob. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure your luggage is going to show up.
Oh, dude, can you stay for me to tear into air? I know you got a meeting at 5.
I've got work to do. I'd like to stay,
so do
but
I.
I've got a lot to do.
You want to stay and bitch about the airline so I can go do some work, or no? All right.
I've already done a 3-hour show.
Enjoy
I
the
wanted
hat.
to come talk food.
Enjoy it.
I love it.
All right, hey, we'll be right back soon.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro. Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
And we're back. The fourth and final course of the day. What the day? I'm telling you what, man. I need to get my damn luggage. So
it's really bothering you, isn't it?
You know,
when it's just sitting there in the back of your head, and it's like it's just out there.
I know.
And you're just hoping. Okay, am I going to get the phone call now?
Well,
what about now?
There is hope, right? Because what happened was, I every 5 hours I call the baggage service, or I go to whatever, the airport. Anyway. I'm calling and calling and calling, and nobody could ever locate the bag until today. There was a glimmer of hope. So for those of you who don't know, I was recently in Los Angeles for 4 days. And while I was there, apparently a big storm, group of storms came through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it canceled a lot of flights and delayed a lot of flights. Consequently, I got separated from my baggage, and I had my bag. Oh, I wish it was got separated from my baggage, my luggage. Yeah, you can take my baggage. Jeff, you want my baggage? I'll give it to you. Very, very cheap price.
Oh, we're good.
It'll just cost you your mentality. That's it. So anyway, so I got separated from my luggage. I went one way. It didn't go anywhere, apparently. And here's the thing. Here's the most frustrating thing for me. I arrived in Texas, and I call the luggage, whatever, the lost or delayed luggage department. I don't know. It's 5225 is what I can tell you. 1-800 blah 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 5225. So I give them a call, and they're like, "No, Mr. Mosher, we don't have any record of you even leaving California." Okay, see, here's what I could understand you losing a bag, but now you lost a freaking passenger. Okay, it's bad enough that you don't get a real meal on an airline anymore, but now you lost me. There was no record. If that plane had gone down, who'd have knew? I mean, Jeff, thank goodness Jeff texts me every couple of days. Hey, dude, you alive? Where are you? You haven't been in the studio like a week. Are you okay?
Right. Yep.
No, I mean, seriously. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. Sorry I didn't give you a heads up because and sometimes I don't know that I'm not going to do a show. Just things pop up and there's other things get in the way, and I get headaches, and and some days I just don't want to be. No, I'm just joking. I love being in the studio, and I have missed doing my show very much. But how do you lose a passenger? I mean, they gave me a boarding pass. I checked in. You know what happened? I'll bet I know what happened. So the stewardess, or is it stewardess? I don't know. The gate attendant. The gate attendant the other day, I know exactly what happened now. Damn it! I know what happened.
Okay, well, what is it?
No. So when I got on the plane, she was distracted talking to a young man.
A young man,
a younger man, a little bit younger than she was, who was boarding the plane also. Okay. But apparently they were deep in conversation. I tried to hand her, because typically they take your boarding pass, they put it on there, unless it's your phone, which they had given me a hard copy. You remember the old, really thick paper copies? Right. Yes, folks, we're not talking about food for a few minutes because I'm pissed my baggage is missing. All right, and it's not just these beautiful knives from Kansheng that are in there. I have an 8-inch chef's knife, my other 6-inch chef knife that's mine, and I have all these fun kitchen gadgets. I have a juicer and a zester and a tomato shark, and just look it up. It doesn't matter. It's a tomato core, okay? It's called tomato shark. Just look it up. It's fun. They're really cool. One of my favorite kitchen gadgets, right? We talked about that, Jeff. So, but I have all this stuff in there. Not to mention, for like a year and a half, I've been living out of a suitcase because we're trying to get this thing launched. And when I'm not here, I'm traveling somewhere because there's nowhere to get. It's not like I have a big. I don't even know if I have a residence in Dallas. Matt, can I use your mailing address? So anyway. Everything, not everything of importance, but my shoes are in there. I have like 3 pair of shoes in there. I have, my BVDs are in there. Yes. A lot of cool stuff is in there.
So go back to how you think you got your luggage lost.
So when I went up, typically they take your paper boarding pass and they stick it upside down in that little scanner and it goes beep and that little light turns green. Well, she said she just kind of waved me like, throw it down there, Bubba. So I went like that, and that little light did not turn green, damn it. That's how they didn't think I left L.A. And that was not the flight I was supposed to be on. It was a different flight because I was not going to make my connection in Vegas to come to DFW. I was going to be too late, and that was the last flight of the day. So they put me on a different flight, another time, right? So that's what happened. It never scanned my damn boarding pass.
So according to the airline, you're still where?
L.A.
You're still in L.A.
Or at least I never flew out of L.A. on an airplane on an American flight. So that's what happened. And then what happened, now it's a chain reaction. What had happened when they tried to reroute me, they pulled they'd sent a note. They actually called down to luggage, said, pull the bag, right? Well, when they tried to pull the bag, they never got to it. So they tried to express the bag to Austin the next day, and then it was going to come to Fort Worth. Well, it didn't go to Austin because both the flights from LAX to Austin were canceled the next day. And not only that, because I never checked in for a flight, it never registered me as flying. Then the bag has nowhere to go because if you don't check in, it just goes in limbo, right? The bag just doesn't belong to anybody because there's no one flying on the airline that the bag belongs to. Not to mention when they give you this, when they put the tag on your bag and it's got that little thing they peel off the end. It's got like 2 rows of numbers. Well, they're the same number, but you can stick them in different places, which I should do next time so I don't lose it. But that's your claim ticket number. That is your baggage, your bag number. That's the bag ID. And if you don't know that, it's really hard to track your bag. But what happened is they finally located it, but when somebody pulled it up and they made a report, they actually transposed a 4 to a 7 or a 7 to a 4. I don't remember which one it was. So the number was completely incorrect. And when they and today was the first time they figured that out. I've got 4 reports now with the airline, all with different people. One at the counter in DFW. And so it wasn't even the right number. So finally, this lovely lady on the phone did a backtrack. She found where, she looked up my reservation, the initial time I checked in, before I left LAX, the initial time I checked in at the gate, and she found the number for my bag, right? So I got really lucky. Because I think now, finally, my bag may show up. Perhaps, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to get too optimistic, because if I do, then I'll, Jeff, you've probably seen me angry before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
A time or two. But you know what? Listen, if it doesn't show up, I'm
It's
going
just
to
off,
take
dude.
you to Kohl's. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Actually, my daughter, I'm not sure she got hired or not, but my daughter just applied at Kohl's. So, I could probably get the employee discount too.
Well, then that's a little more reason we need to go, right?
I'm okay with Marshall's, Ross. It doesn't matter. Macy's going out of business, whatever. They're all liars. They never go out of business. Those stores just keep getting crap in them and going out of business. 17 years later, going out of business. You ever know the furniture stores are that way, right?
Right.
You ever notice that?
Yeah, clearance, going out of business.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so here's the worst part about the whole experience. I go up to the, I'm a little miffed that my bag has not yet arrived in Dallas. So I go to the Dallas baggage claim counter, or the baggage counter, whatever it is. The service person is sitting there, and this young man is sitting there, and he's playing with his phone, and he's listening to music, and I walk up, and he just refuses to look at me. So I just I looked at him, and I was like, huh. He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, I'd like to find my bag because it's been lost for 3 days now. Do you think we could find my bag? Could you help me? And he's like, and he turns his phone upside down, doesn't turn the music off, turns it upside down, puts it on the desk. And at this point, I'm ready to snatch him out of the chair, man. I'm like, I'm going to do your job. I'll make sure you're fired. I'm like, hey, I see, my bag's been missing for 3 days, and there's like $2,000 worth of knives. And I think you can help me find it, because I'm really getting anxious. I'm getting a little miffed. Do you have a manager I can speak to? And I didn't raise my voice like that. I said, do you have a manager here? Because he goes, I'm a manager just like you are. I said, I'm not a manager. I said, I want to speak to your manager because I'd really like to find my bag. I need clean undies, and I want my knives. I really want my knives. You have no idea how badly I want these knives. So, and not just those, just all my stuff is in there. So luckily you can buy a toothbrush anywhere. So I have toothbrush, deodorant, toothpaste. That's not a problem, right? But fingernail clippers, the one extra set I had in my backpack, of course they take them at security. So they made me throw them out. I was clipping my fingers as fast as I could before I got security leaving, trying to get through LAX. And they're like, sorry, buddy, garbage. Or no, was it Austin? Yeah, it was LAX. And I'm like, dang, man, I can't even keep my fingernail clippers anymore. So yes, my extra fingernail clippers are in there. My tweezers, just the little stuff you need for day-to-day life. So I go back to the story. I approached this young gentleman, and he's not being very attentive. And I said, sir, could I give you a little customer service tip? When somebody walks up to you and looks like their head is going to explode because they've lost their luggage, because the only reason they come to you is that they've lost their luggage, this is a teachable moment. I'm being nice. I'm actually being very nice to this gentleman right there. I said, look, his name begins with a C. I have it. It's burned, etched into my mind forever, and in a good way.
Go ahead and say it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, just tell me. Nobody else is listening. What was his name?
Kurt.
Kurt?
No. It wasn't, but anyway. So I said, "Look, this is can I give you a tip of customer service?" I said, "When somebody looks like their head is going to explode, you are the one person that can help them. The only reason they're coming to you is because their bag is missing." So he goes, "Well, the way you approached me," I said, "Yeah, the way you approached me is I'm pissed because your airline lost Well, actually, I didn't say your airline. I said your employer lost my luggage, or they failed to ship it, or they lost me. They said I didn't even leave LA. So I'm not surprised they lost my luggage because they lost me. So here's the deal. When somebody comes up to you in that state of mind, you can change their day. Smile and say, oh, I'm sorry. Is everything okay, sir? What can I do to help you? Anything. A smile, hey, it's going to be okay. Anything would be helpful at that point. And he goes, point taken. And he smiled at me. He said, sir, how can I help you? Yeah. His name was Cameron, by the way.
But he didn't help you, did he?
No, he did, actually. He filed a report. But
that didn't find your luggage.
No, because you know why? I think he's the one that transposed the number.
So what I'm saying is that he didn't actually help you,
no,
right?
But, well, he did because he was the first one to file an official... Okay, here's the other crazy thing. Apparently, American Airlines cannot file a missing bag report until you're at your final destination. But when they keep canceling the damn flights, how do you ever get to your final destination? Do you walk? Go into the airport and say, I'm here. Do I have to rent a car from Vegas or LA and drive here and say, I made it. I didn't use my ticket. Can I get a refund? But I made it. I'm here. Can I get my luggage? Apparently, until you get your final destination, you have to go then to the desk and file a report. That's what they told me until today when she said, well, did you call us and file a report? I said, no, I tried to. They said I had to go to the desk. Oh, she goes, that's not right. You can call us anytime, file a report. I was like, oh, one more thing to be upset about. Anyway, the fact that she took the time to go back, and it was really, the whole thing was so confusing. They had me booked on 2 flights with 2 active boarding passes, showed I hadn't checked in on either flight. When I had checked, it was just a mess. So I love you, American Airlines. I would really be happy if you find my bag. And yeah, I'm gonna say a little prayer now, a silent prayer that my baggage be found. My baggage be found. Thank you. Anyway, all right, so cool stuff when I was in LA. One thing that the Favilli family, Famiglia Favilli, right? The Favilli family, which, if you don't know, I was in LA working with former Disney Imagineer Andrea and his lovely wife Camille and their team there on, just what I should be doing, because this show is awesome. I love doing my show, but I specialize in some things that I don't highlight very often. I specialize in Japanese food. I love Asian food is really my arena. I've opened Thai restaurants, a couple of Thai restaurants, Japanese fusion, Asian fusion, Chinese restaurants. I've been a wok chef, a sushi chef. Hell, I've plucked the feathers from a chicken and boiled that thing in water till it was Chinese chicken and rice. So Asian food's where I excel. But the thing is, I don't talk about Asian food very much on here. I talk about food news and other things. So they were working with me on, look, there's a disconnect, and they were working me through the process. It's not that I don't love this. It's not what I know inside and out. I really don't read food headlines. Oh, FARC.com, by the way, FARK.com is really funny. It has politics, news headlines. But the funniest one I like is the food. There are really funny food headlines on there. That's where I get a lot of my stories from. If you just want to catch up, once a week or something, it's worth the look. There's some really funny things on there. All right, so we're working through this process, and I don't get to watch cooking shows because there's nothing for me on those cooking shows. And there was a great movie that came out about 6 years ago called Chef. You ever heard the movie Chef? No?
No.
Okay, so it's I don't know, like the beginning is kind of rough, especially if you're there's a lot of cursing at the beginning because he's a chef in a kitchen. He has this big food. He gets in a fight with a food critic. It's Jon Favreau. Do you know who Jon Favreau is? You know the movie Swingers, the swing dancers?
No, I don't know what. Yeah, this is great.
So Jon Favreau. Well, you ever Couples Retreat?
Say that again.
Couples Retreat? No.
Yeah, I've heard of Couples Retreat.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Short, stocky guy. There's always Vince Vaughn and the short, stocky guy. The short, stocky guy is Jon Favreau. He's a director, writer, actor, right? They wrote Swingers together. He and tall guy, right? So anyway, he was in this movie Chef. He plays a chef, and his mentor on the set is a chef named Roy Choi. And Roy Choi is he got famous. He has a food truck called Kogi, and Kogi was, I said, this elusive food truck. It's actually Korean cooked like proteins that are in tacos and burritos. It's awesome. It's one of the best food trucks, if not the best food truck I've ever eaten at. He's considered one of the fathers, the inventors, the spark that lit this whole really fancy food trucks, right? Anyways, his name's Roy Choi. I think he's born in, he's 3 years younger than I am, so he's 47, 48. Really accomplished chef. This guy used to go to rap concerts, and the way he got in and got really popular is he'd stuff his pockets with his Asian burritos, right? And then he'd go in and hand them out. It was like the favorite thing everybody loved. And so it's not like that was the only reason. His food has been great, and his truck would just appear and then disappear. It was like it could transport in, transport out. It's just crazy. Anyway, they started bringing the truck to the Avengers sets and things like that. And Jon Favreau has been in a couple of them. And he was in Spider-Man. I don't remember which, Homecoming, I think. Anyway, Roy Choi is his coach in the movie. He's his mentor and his kind of, he calls him his corner man in the movie Chef. And at the very end of the movie Chef, because Jon Favreau is not a chef, Roy Choi doesn't know it, but they're rolling the film. And Roy Choi is teaching him how to make the best grilled cheese sandwich, right? And it's very intense, and he's just like, okay, look, it's like a 1 foot wide or maybe 18-inch wide griddle that's 2 feet deep, 2 feet thick, front to back. And he's like, okay, this is your whole world. Nothing else exists. This is all you watch. You watch the sandwich. That's it. Okay, you turn a little bit, you look underneath, you see if it's brown. And this is when you turn it, and the whole thing is just. It's like 45 seconds to a minute of just him teaching him how to do that sandwich. It's so cool. It's very intense, but it kind of teaches you how focused you have to be. Look, you're making food, and if you burn something, then that's a problem, right? Because it costs you money, it costs time, and it may cost you a guest. So anyway, that's it. He just teaches this is your whole world. Nothing exists. This one sandwich is your whole life, and there's now a show. There's a TV series on Netflix called The Chef Show, and The Chef Show. It starts out, I think season 1 just came out last Tuesday. I think, the 9th. And it's fantastic, man. It's all these short, 10-minute segments that make up one full episode. And it's awesome. So what they did in the first episode, first they go to, there's a website, I think called Goop, Goop. And Goop is run by, what's the actress's name? Shoot, I forgot her name. How can I forget her name? Goop. She's really famous. She plays Pepper Pot in the Avengers movies and the, you know what I'm talking about?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
So you know her, but you don't know Jan. Yeah, because she's really pretty and he's not. So
Gwyneth, right? Yeah.
Yes, and so, but she's been doing this food video blog thing, like a food video podcast for a long time now. So really, and when it started out, it was only in the Marvel, some sort of there's like a portal you can go into learn about the Marvel movies, and that's where it lived, right? She was doing these cooking podcasts there, and or video cast. So Goop has become huge, right? It's a website now. You can buy $350 yoga pants and blah 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 blah. It's all this. It's very good stuff. I mean, it's high quality. It's all organic. It's all natural. It's all equal opportunity, non offending, and it's very cool. And Gwyneth Paltrow's kind of built this big business around this. It's fantastic. But what they do is they meet in the Goop home office has a kitchen, and they make pepper pot. And a pepper pot is this soup from the Caribbean, and they make it with Gwyneth Paltrow, because that's her character's name, right? So it's really cool, and they make it vegan because all the recipes are on Goop are vegetarian or vegan, and it's not that they have anything against meat or other proteins, the animal-based proteins. They're just trying to give an alternative for people that there's all these wonderful recipes online. They try to modify those to give other people that don't eat meat an opportunity to taste great food as well, and I can appreciate that. So they make this pepper pot, right? And it's so spicy. Here's the cool thing. It's so spicy. Roy Choi plays it off like, yeah, they're all like, he's like, they're like, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be that spicy. He only takes one bite. That's how hot it is. And he's Korean. All right. So, but then the second segment, so they make that one. The second segment, third segment, fourth segment, they spend time making, actually there's 2 other segments. They make stuff from the movie Chef. And the first thing they make is a Cubano sandwich. If you've never had you ever had a Cubano sandwich, Jeff?
No. Or at least I don't think I have.
Dang.
I mean, I don't know. What is it?
Dang, dude, you are missing out. So Cubano is a Cuban pressed sandwich. It's basically the Cuban version of a panini. And what they do is
then yes, I've had one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take they make it in the movie. So the first thing they do is Jon Favreau and Roy Choi. Roy has all these ingredients, he like whipping them out on the counter, and Jon Favreau mixes all the ingredients together, and then he marinates the pork, it's actually something that they do in the movie. And one of the other actors in the movie who's plays John's sous chef was John Leguizamo. Leguizamo, is that his name? You know, the little, he's, I'll show you a picture of him. Yeah, I think it's John Leguizamo. He's been in, John Leguizamo. Man, I need to, John. So I need, he's been in, gosh, here, I'm going to blow up the picture. You'll know just by seeing him. That guy, right there. See, look, that guy. Look, Jeff. I know. You know that guy? You don't know that guy? Come on, dude. He's been in like 100 movies.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. But anyway, so he's playing his. But basically they have a food truck, and he is marinating the pork in the food truck. It's called Mojo Pork. It's a very traditional Caribbean style. Like it's somewhere between like Cuban and Caribbean, right? Okay. It's got garlic and orange juice and rum, and it's just this beautiful marinated pork, right? It's very, very bright and alive when you cook it. I know it's dead, but I'm telling you, when you taste it, it's like, wow, it's like a party in your mouth. As Trey Chapman would say on Fridays, it's like a rodeo in your mouth, right? It's just awesome. So in the movie, he's marinating it, and then they roast it later and they try it. But they make it in the kitchen, and then they bring in another comedian for the third segment. And what they do is the comedian loves the movie. It was absolutely, he and his wife both love the movie. And what they do is they recreate the two sandwiches that they make. One is the Cubano, okay, and the other one is the grilled cheese. Okay, the grilled cheese at the very end. And the grilled cheese is actually, at the very end, that's just the coaching portion before they actually rolled the film to be produced. And what it is Jon Favreau teaching his son how important it is to pay so much love and attention to just a grilled cheese sandwich, right? It's not just a grilled cheese sandwich. There's 3 cheeses on there, about a half a pound of butter, and sourdough bread, man. You can't go wrong. So, and I'm telling everyone this because I got re-inspired. Like I love that movie, and watching this particular show, because now I've finally, and there are some other ones. David Chang has some good stuff. He's the chef from Momofuku and Milk Bar in New York and Milk Bar in LA, and he's a trend-setting Japanese influenced chef. It really inspired me to start cooking again and just exploring flavors, and there may be a TV show coming out of this, by the way. Just saying, like a real.
You mean a TV show with you, or a TV show about some of the other shows you were just talking about?
I'm just saying.
No, you can let it out of the bag. No, what is it you're referring to?
I'm just saying. Well, I can't. You know what? If this all goes right, it's a really big deal. So I can't talk about it. Okay, well, there's another over-the-top OTT, as we call it, that's not mainstream, not like a mainstream cable channel, not a over-the-top. Over-the-top is like Roku and, all these other, you have Amazon Prime and you have Netflix. Okay, sure. Yeah, not your traditional ABC, NBC terrestrial stuff, and not regular cable, HBO. Yeah, okay, so, well, there's another one that is not Netflix, that is starving for content, and they have great content already. And so, if I get my act together, I will have a direct introduction to the person who actually owns that format for this other worldwide distributor of stuff we won't talk about, probably the biggest shipper in the world. Not UPS, the other shipper, the other like wholesaler, retailer shipper, those guys. Anyway, if this works out, it could be really fun and a really big deal. And it just inspired me. I saw this show, and I thought, you know what? Finally, there's something I can watch. And I watch Chef's Table on Netflix. I watch Street Food, which Chef's Table highlights these amazing and some of the most celebrated chefs in the world. They all have unique stories. The very first one is Massimo Bottura, who, if you don't know who he is, he's had the best restaurant in the world 2 out of the last 4 years. And he he took all the leftover food from the Olympics in Brazil, which was really cool. They took all that food from Olympic Village, from all the kitchens for the athletes, and they took it and they fed the homeless. It was really coolest thing ever. Anyway, and he's just a brilliant chef, and he's done some other great philanthropic things and just amazing food. So there's that one. As a matter of fact, Nancy Silverton's in there too. La Brea Bakery. If you ever walk into your grocery store and you walk up and you see this kind of take home, it's at room temperature. It's not in the refrigerated section, but it's take home, par baked. It's ready to eat bread, but you really should crisp it up. It's called La Brea Bakery. She was one of the chefs that was highlighted on there. She built an empire with La Brea Bakery in L.A. and then sold that. And now there's this big production company. She gave all her money to Bernie Madoff and lost it all. Then she rebuilt another empire with another company I can't talk about because I don't want to know. It's a Mario Batali thing. And anyway, so there was some stuff that happened in the Me Too movement, lost everything again. So now she's rebuilding, but she was in that series as well. And she, by the way, congratulations, just got her first Michelin star in L.A. She and Joe Bastianich, Lydia Bastianich's son, I believe. So all this stuff that I saw, the grilled cheese, just watching them make these two sandwiches, the Cubano, which, by the way, is great French bread. It's got butter on the inside first, then you toast it. All right. Then it's got mustard, the ham that they made, sliced thin, and then griddled. And then you put, not the ham, but the pork shoulder. And then ham on top of that, sliced ham, heated on the griddle. And then you put Swiss cheese over the top. I think they used Gruyere, actually, because it's a little smelly. Yummy stuff. And then, underneath the cheese, though, is sliced pickles. So, and then that's pressed. So what they do is they butter the top, but then they butter the press on the bottom. So they put it in there and they press it. Oh my gosh. If you've never had a Cubano sandwich, find the best Cubano in your city. Go have some. If it does not inspire you to eat more, or at least cook something, at least eat more, then there's something wrong with you. All right. There's a lot of more stuff to talk about. Sorry. You have now wisely spent 2 hours listening to me talk about food, fun, knives, unfortunately, American Airlines, and who knows what the heck is going to come out of this. Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Thank you, Kong Sheng, for the knives, man. I cannot wait. I got some great pictures from the Favili Kitchen, which I'll be sharing over the next 24 hours. Hey, take care of yourselves. Remember, you are what you eat. All right? Ciao for now. We'll talk to you tomorrow.